Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a fantastic week so far. Today, guys, we're going to be doing something very, very interesting. If you own Cardano, this is a video that you want to pay attention to and watch till the end. I've got some extremely good news to be sharing with you with where I believe the price is going to go once this correction is finished. I think this next impulsive wave that we are about to embark on is going to see us hit anywhere from $5 to $6. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you why that is. What I'm going to do in this video, and I'll lay it all on the line from the outset, is we're going to be revisiting our Elliott wave theory that we have in play for Cardano. We're going to be reiterating the fact that it is absolutely in play, and how I'm going to emphasize that is showing you that there's Elliott wave theory present on the smaller time frame, giving proof to it being present on the larger time frame. And in actual fact, it has adhered to the kind of rules of Elliott wave theory very, very perfectly, which gives me the confidence in believing that it's going to continue to do so. I'm also going to talk to you about how that fails, how that breaks down, and then we can go, okay, it's no longer, it's invalidated the structure. So we've got a lot to get through. We're also going to take a look at Bitcoin. In yesterday's video, right before the kind of pump that we experienced, we said that we were buying the dip. This is where we were deploying the rest of our capital to buy this dip. I'm going to be explaining to you why I did this, even if I believe that potentially there is a little bit more downside that may come. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. If it does, that will be just fine, because I think it's going to be very moderate. We're going to, of course, take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still in a technical head and shoulders pattern to around about 36, 37,000. Now, it doesn't have to get there, but if it does, it's not the end of the world. You could do something like you did over here, where you have, this schematic has played out very, very similar today. But what I want to do is really get into the bulk of this video, go over this kind of Elliott wave theory, show you that it's so present. We're going to bring up things like the RSI as well to show you that it's even present there. And then we'll go into Bitcoin, and we'll go into Cardano on a smaller term time frame, because you are not out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make that apparent, and by the end of this video, you should be prepared for either scenario and have a smile on your face, hopefully. So, we're going to get into this kind of Elliott wave theory, and what I've really done here is I've laid out our smaller Elliott waves within our bigger Elliott wave. So I'll show you the macro Elliott wave structure that we have in play. We'll just move that RSI out of the way. This is your one wave, this is your two wave, three wave, fourth wave, and you're now embarking on your fifth and potentially final wave of this bull run if we don't have some kind of a extended crypto super cycle, or whatever people are calling it nowadays. But you will see an ABC after your fifth wave, in the same way you saw an ABC after your third and your one wave. So I really want to focus on this, and we will go down in the time frames. This is the weekly because it really shows them the most apparent. You can see that you have this kind of 5-wave impulsion, and you have an ABC on the way down, and it really highlights just how present it is. I mean, you can quite literally take a bar pattern and overlay, for example, this onto here, ladies and gents, and it matches up very, very well. It's more apparent on the smaller term time frames. Also, in regards to this pullback that we're going through, one thing that confirms to me that it's absolutely normal is because these are the previous hard forks, ladies and gentlemen. This was Byron, this was Shelley, and this was, of course, Alonzo, the most significant hard fork in Cardano's history. This is why I believe we're going to see that third wave potentially take us to $5 to $6 when we do indeed decide to bark on it, and we finish this two-wave pullback within our fifth wave. I'm trying not to be technical, but I hope you guys can see what's set out here. What I may do is draw the waves like this, so they don't interfere with the smaller waves, just so that you can see just how apparent this is, and just how accurately we are following this. It's weird. Technical analysis absolutely works. That's how on Twitter we were able to give you the target of where this would bounce. Okay, we were 0.1% of a cent off, but the head and shoulders target that we gave you on Twitter was $1.92. The where Cardano bounced from the head and shoulders pattern was $1.91.8, so 0.2 of a cent away from the head and shoulders target. Now that could have been because I drew it slightly out, but technical analysis absolutely works, and this is why we're so confident in Cardano's continuation to the upside. Not only are the charts telling us that, the underlying fundamentals are also screaming that to us. Guys, I don't want to keep saying it, but blockchain technology is going to impact the world in a big way. And a cryptocurrency, a part of that, like Cardano, that has so much promise, is doing so much globally, not just in the US or the UK, has got, to me, the only way for it really is up. And the fact that it's following this structure and the charts are saying a similar thing to what the fundamentals and the belief in the project are, is a real green tick for me, ladies and gents. We've got the Cardano Summit coming up in 2 days, is it? 2 days away. So this is going to be huge. This could be the catalyst. You may not go lower than this, but we'll talk about the smaller term timeframes in a second. So I hope that what I'm showing you here is, you come up in these one waves and you have an ABC correction. You come up in this, so 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, ABC, and now you're embarked on your 5th and potentially final wave, and you've had a correction here, lined up perfectly with a hard fork. You tend to get corrections, or certainly we have previously, if we look at data, had a sell-off after a hard fork, and now potentially you are coming into your 3rd wave, which the kind of logistics of Elliott wave theory is that your 3rd wave is bigger than your 1st wave. Your 1st wave is always your smallest wave. Remember, and this is what's got me exceptionally excited for what's to come. If you take your 1st wave, which took us up around about 219% from the bottom. Let's drop the time frames, ladies and gents, so I can do this more accurately for you. And what I'm going to do is get rid of the bigger Elliott wave theory that's in play. I'm sure you can all see that that's apparent. If we go from the bottom here to the top here, guys, that's around about 203%. If we add 203% from where we are today, or from the bottom, I should say, of this wave, let's see where that takes us. So let's say if it was the same size, that would take you to $5.70. The laws that Elliott wave theory upholds is that your 3rd wave is going to be bigger than your 1 wave. Now, bear in mind that the correction may not be done. We may be doing a similar thing to what we did here, where we make marginally lower lows, which is the reason I was so confident in putting money in yesterday, was because I think even if we do see a further move to the downside, it will be marginal, meaning it will be only by a small amount, which I'm happy to sit and eat that. I mean, you guys know that I don't sell any of my hodl pot. Even through this dip here, I held through it, and for many altcoins that paid off, even today. So this is kind of what we're anticipating. We're anticipating a move. Let me put it on the daily so we get a bit more room on the charts. We're anticipating, a move that is actually going to be more than your 1 wave that we believe we've just gone through. We're finishing up our 2 wave pullback, and this is going to see us potentially move towards $5 to $6. Now, when exactly that's going to come is really anybody's guess. I think we're going to start to see the fruit of that towards the end of the year. I think the Cardano Summit's going to hopefully do a lot for the price, although because crypto is so speculative, it doesn't always the fundamentals don't always reflect in the price. Remember, price is essentially dictated by a very small amount of the liquid supply of any Z cryptocurrency or asset being traded on exchanges. It's kind of a poor representation of the asset class as a whole. But this is really what we're expecting. So we're super, super excited. We still think you're getting to $7.50 to $10. In actual fact, I think that could be relatively conservative. And I really, wanted to share this video with you because I know what it's like. I bring videos out every day for you, and I can tell the sentiment really dips when the price sells off. But what you guys need to understand, and I'm sure many of you do understand it, I don't mean to be patronizing by saying that, is that this is an emerging market class and there's going to be volatility attached with it. Just as easily as you can go up 200%, you can sell off 50%. And this is just part and parcel of it. And this is why you will make so much money in crypto due to this volatility. So that's really where we're at. I've completely moved these out of funk, but we're kind of finished with it. And in regards to this 1 wave, even within these smaller waves within the macro kind of time frame, you also have waves. So after every impulsive wave, you go for an ABC. So this was your 1 wave. Where's that ABC tool? A, B, C. And you potentially could have finished that. Now, it's still early days, and ultimately this is all dependent on Bitcoin. And the reason that it is dependent on Bitcoin, and I want to show you this very quickly before we move on, is, and I'm trying not to make this video long, I've got a real habit of rabbiting on to you guys. You know, this is kind of what is in play. It's followed it very closely. You had unaccomplished. Anyway, talking about another Wyckoff distribution here. Potentially is. It's very, very similar to this, but we could end up, and this would take us down to our technical target. You know, this head and shoulders that we broke out of did take us to our technical target. This could play out in a kind of similar manner where you have that kind of initial spike and then you kind of drizzle out. So that's why I was so confident in accumulating yesterday. I'm going to continue to take as much of the advantage as I possibly can of this dip. My cash funds are pretty much depleted at this point, other than what I need to pay houses, etc., etc. You know, it's my cash funds are all in crypto at this point. So big risk for me to take, but I'm young enough to do so. Your financial situation may be different. You may have other responsibilities that you need to uphold. So don't bet your life on this. I'm young enough where I can afford to literally lose the majority of my capital and just pick myself up, brush myself off, and move on to the next thing. And I think that's a great mindset to have for somebody as young as me. You know, this is a calculated risk that I'm willing to take. You guys need to do your own calculations on the risk that you are taking and come up with your own analogy. Cardano could very much do a similar thing. Can you see this, where you get this this kind of initial sell-off, you spike back up, you come back down again, you come up for a relief rally, and then you kind of drizzle out. So you spike down, you come back up, you spike back down again, and then you drizzle out. Something like that could take place. This could just be a relief rally. But ultimately, I think any kind of a further move to the downside in terms of lows are going to be in much the same way that these were marginal, and usually, you know, we didn't really go necessarily too far under the actual original wick, but we made marginal lower lows before we saw continuation. So that is a possibility. On the other hand, this does look like a pretty textbook W double bottom. We could do something like this where you come back down and bounce again and form a kind of double bottom. Confirmation of when you'll reverse the trend completely is when you get above, in my opinion, this neckline. So not necessarily just this high, some of these lows, this neckline. You could potentially come back to retest it before we see continuation, and we do indeed embark on that third wave within our fifth wave that I potentially believe we're on. So that's really all I have for you guys. Super, super stoked for the Cardano Summit. If you're not already following me at Twitter, guys, head over to @RealAllInCrypto. If you've enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated, and so is a comment. I tried to make this video a little bit exciting for you and really show you that in actual fact, once we've done this pullback, I'm not saying it's done yet, because the thing is with crypto is it's so uncertain. One thing we've been absolutely spot on is the macro direction of this market up. It's not a hard call to make, but to call the shots day to day, yes, we've got more right than we've got wrong, but we are going to get certain things wrong. But one thing that I'm confident on and have been right about 100% so far is the direction that this market is moving and how it's moving there. And you have absolutely got your Elliott wave theory at play here, and this really leads me to believe that we're going to see continuation to the upside. If you came back and took out this low here, and your two wave after your one wave comes below where you started your one wave, that invalidates the whole structure, and then we can deal with that at the time. But we'll let you know well in advance from that. That's all I have for you guys. What a great day. I'm having a whale of a time being involved in these markets. I really am. Even when the market sells off, you know, for me, it's an opportunity. It's a curse. It's a blessing, not a curse. Sorry. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you. If you enjoyed the content, like us, appreciated. So is a comment. Remember, there is still the possibility for some more downside, a little bit of a drizzling, a little bit of a kind of slumping down before we do see that impulsion and we set up some sort of a falling wedge structure, etc., etc., which we called for you on Twitter a long time ago now. With these, oh no, that's not the right one. Anyway, you get the message. That's all I have for you guys. I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching.